the nerdy teenager that doesn't really know, she's going through puberty and all of this, and then she falls in love with the hot jock and he falls in love with her. Like, you don't normally get that, and that's what I think everyone falls in love with. Every little girl that's 16 and watches the movie, they can kind of be like, oh my god, there's hope, or...
What's up? I hope everyone out there is doing well. This is Gray, and this is, of course, the Gray Have podcast. Can you believe it? It's the end of the year. It's the end of 2018, and we actually had a good year that felt very tiny, or very short to me, at least. But a lot of things happened. I've had an incredible year myself. Whether you had a different year or you wouldn't call it good, that's all okay. That's what life is. It's just kind of it's a mix of all things together. But I like to look at it in the most positive way possible. So I had my own challenges, but entirely I had an incredible one. I crushed it. And if you crushed it as well, cheers to this. And I hope you're looking forward to some time off, some of you during the holidays. To some of you out there who like to kill it all the time. I know you're looking at putting in the work still. If you're on your own schedule, maybe you don't care so much about, it's Christmas time or it's this time, you run your own clock. I respect that as well. So this podcast today is a little different. I recorded this as an in-between episode to cover the end of the year and more like a year in review, some things that we have learned and looking forward to 2019 and those sorts of things. So I did this with my friend Radizen, who already has been on this podcast before in a couple of episodes. For some of you who have been listening to this podcast for a long time, you're definitely familiar with Rad. We did New Year's Revolution at the beginning of 2018. So we just did the end of the podcast, and we had a new special guest as well. We had a new guest, Bianca Bosch. Bianca is an actress known for the Kissing Booth 2018 movie on Netflix, and Killer Instinct with Chris Hansen. The Kissing Booth, she was playing Olivia, and in the Killer Instinct, she was playing Susanna Chase. So some of you probably have seen these movies before, or you are familiar with her, maybe on Instagram and those sorts of things. We just thought that we would have a good time just talking about the year in general and keep it more social and more fun. It was just like a friendly type of chat. So I hope you guys appreciate it. I'm not gonna waste too much time in the intro. I enjoyed it myself. We had a good time, and you can follow Bianca on Instagram at Bianca Bosch. That's Bianca Bosch, and on the Twitters and on IMDb. So you guys have a good time. I'll see you at the end of the line. Cheers. So let's get with the introductions first. We've got Bianca here and we've got Rad. You've been here so many times, you don't need too much introduction.
Yeah, and I've been here a few times. Everyone sort of knows. Corporate, fun and games. Gray and I have these podcasts now and again.
I'm new on the block. My name is Bianca Bosch. Welcome.
Right, Bianca. Tell us more.
What do you want to know?
Bianca is you want to tell us about your actress career?
Well, when people say like, oh, you're an actress and you're in a movie, I kind of like cringe because I don't see myself as that. Like, I'm honoring the craft, yes, and it's my absolute passion, but do I consider myself like famous or, oh, she's been in a Netflix movie? No, like, come on. It was a job. Like, I don't know.
It's still pretty cool though. I mean,
it is
from
cool.
SA, you grew up in like as you said, a smaller place, and now
the story behind it, I think, is cool. You can dramatize it, and then it becomes interesting. Like, I'm from Port Elizabeth originally, and
by the way, Port Elizabeth is a small town in South Africa.
It's tiny, yeah. And I was 21 when I booked the role, and it was for a Netflix American movie that had quite a few famous actresses and actors in. And I mean, it's done very well. It was rated the most popular movie on Netflix for 2018. So it's got a lot of viewing. I think, yeah, it was a dream come true, put it that way. I literally felt like I was living my dream. That's all I've ever wanted. And then next minute, like, it so happened that I was on a movie set with an American producer, an American director, and American actors, but we were filming in Cape Town. And I'm the South African actress that has come from Port Elizabeth and just finished her studies. Like, people don't really get that opportunity, I don't think.
Yeah, I know a lot of actresses and actors here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I used to work in the casting.
Okay.
So I know a lot of models and actresses and actors, but yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
Mostly people would start with the extras and the commercials.
Yes, exactly.
And sometimes they never even get a shot. So.
No, no.
And it's overly competitive. It's like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
No, it really is.
I'm still struggling to find the consensus for it. Like, you know, do you have to be a good actress?
Well, I was just about to say that, because
Okay.
I know people that I did a course with, or like many courses with, that I think are exceptional, that have never booked work in their life. And then there's me, who is just starting in this industry, and I've just booked something that's massive. But like, does that measure how good you are as an actress? No.
Do you think you're not that good of an actress?
No, I think that I'm constantly growing, and I will never... If an actress thinks they're a good actress, just stop acting. Like, if you think that Meryl Streep doesn't sit back after she's done her movie and be like, oh, I was good. Like, no, she probably criticizes herself to pieces. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. I mean,
Like-
I come from the hip-hop background where you have to believe that you're the best.
For sure, fake it till you make it in a sense. But no, I think you'll actually deteriorate if you start thinking that you're great.
Okay, wow. So Rad, how was the year been, man? By the way, so we met you on the beach.
Yes.
We're shooting some
Clifton
random
Third.
videos.
Yep.
Yeah, you and your friend, what's the name?
Shannon.
Shannon. How is
Yes.
she? She's great.
She's good. I don't
Wait,
know why
wait.
she didn't crack the invite.
Oh, dang.
Oh! I'm joking. Not
Yeah,
joking.
But man, Rad, how has been the year, man? This is end of 2018. We started.
We did 1 year about like what,
The
beginning of
yeah.
the year we did a podcast.
It was like the.
So like, so
Oh,
like,
It still feels like yesterday, though.
it doesn't feel like so long ago. So the
Yeah,
long story
this year
short,
has flown by.
long story short, year's been crazy. It's been fun.
Mm.
Been traveling a bit. Say that.
A lot of London,
A
eh?
lot of London.
Yeah.
Work took me there a bit more. But then again, I mean, the other part about this year has been, it's just been, I don't know, trying to figure out like what's important to be focused on, I suppose. That's been like the main issue. Like trying to figure out where to put my attention, I suppose.
Yourself.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, we've had a lot of chats about this. Like trying to see like, okay, stripping away all the random bullshit in the background and actually just focusing on the things that matter.
Yeah.
Mm.
That sounds incredible. So, do you think both of you have managed to achieve what you wanted to achieve? You know, resolutions. The last podcast we did was like New Year's resolutions, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some went well.
Revolution.
others-
We called it New Year's
Revolution. Yeah.
I didn't even have any.
No, so what we did differently at the beginning of the year, we didn't actually make goals. We sort of looked back on the previous year, and we said, what did we learn from the previous
Or
year?
what did we do wrong?
Yeah, exactly. And said, take the lessons and try and apply them.
Okay.
Right? And so we got somewhere. I think but I don't think I covered all of them. It's been a bit tricky.
But
yeah.
has it been a good year, you think, as compared to last year?
Oh, it's been fun.
What has been the measures? What's the metrics?
Work-wise is great. That's the first one. All the social circles, all the fun stuff around town, all these closer friends. And then, I don't know, just feeling like you're moving.
Right.
You're just feeling like you're in the zone, like pretty much more often than not. Yeah.
Sounds good. And Bianca, what do you think you've done the most?
I mean, I've tried, obviously. I would say this year has been the year of sieving through people that like are bad energy and draining. I don't know why, but I've lost friends this year. Like, it has gone out of fashion. I don't, like, not in a bad way, in an amazing way. Like, everyone kind of just shifted and found their little place, and pretentious people went away, and like things just got smaller and more meaningful and more soul fulfilling in a sense. Yeah.
Sounds deep to me.
Yeah, this year has been very focused on like growth, I would say. I didn't even try to achieve that. It's just been the year of like growth and learning about myself. which I suppose is the first step in going forward, is knowing yourself. So yeah.
So, wow, that sounds too deep, man.
Sorry.
It must be the wine.
I think it's this wine. I just said.
No, but actually she's right. I mean,
You know,
if you think about a lot of the conversations we've been having throughout the year, it's been around this topic. Like, who do you center yourself around? Who are the friends that you want?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been telling you, I've been doing like these philosophy classes in the background as well, and like it's all about self-awareness. And
yes,
it really is cool when you start clicking and figuring out like, okay, I'm going to spend my time on these things and getting rid of all the stuff that's sort of not value adding.
Sure.
It actually feels good. You feel like you're in a good place. I don't know what to call it, but it does. There's something about it, about stripping away all the stuff that's just
your ego.
Yeah.
The thing that I should say it's funny. It sounds like the Instagram culture of like bad energy. You know, all these buzzwords that people use these days.
Yeah, I know.
What is bad energy?
Bad energy. I don't know. Negative people that just suck the life out of you. Jeepers. I've had a few of them this year.
Yeah.
Just people that aren't on your kind of wavelengths.
What is your wavelength?
I would say to just serve your soul's purpose. So for me, like with my career, in order to adapt and like learn about another character or other people, you've got to know yourself, so you can analyze human behavior and stuff like that. But my energy is just that whatever you put out there, you attract. It's law of attraction. So if you're gonna sit and be negative, you're only gonna attract those bad people in your life. And yeah, fear attracts fear in a sense, and everything's basically love over fear. Well, when you narrow it down,
right?
So
I'm not that deep, but yeah, I'm
okay. Well, I don't know. That's just how I feel. So if I'm living and doing everything out of love and making decisions out of love, to simplify it, that is what will come into my life, whether it's work or relationships or anything.
Everything is love.
Yeah,
pretty much. Yeah. Pretender.
So before we move into the next section, let's just share a little bit about what movie you worked on and how was the experience, what you learned from it, and stuff like that, and why you think people should check it out. What is the story?
So the story is...
What is the movie?
The movie is The Kissing Booth. You can watch it on Netflix.
Yeah.
I would say it's a coming of age story. What's interesting about it is the girl that is, Joey King, who plays Elle. It's not your typical story of like hot blonde girl with the jock. It's kind of like the nerdy teenager that doesn't really know, she's going through puberty and all of this, and then she falls in love with the hot jock and he falls in love with her. Like, you don't normally get that, and that's what I think everyone falls in love with. Every little girl that's 16 and watches the movie, they can kind of be like, oh my god, there's hope. Or that sounds awful, but like it's targeted at 16-year-old little girls.
Right.
And when they watch it, they're like, oh my god, like this is what it allows them to dream, and I suppose that's what movies do anyway.
Dream for the soulmate, the special guy, the rad.
Yeah, and for your first kiss and what it feels like, and I don't know, falling in love for the first time.
How was your first kiss?
Oh, my first kiss was on the day of the royal wedding. I'll never forget it.
This royal wedding?
No!
I was going to say the same thing.
No. The royal wedding of Kate and William.
When was that?
That was in April. I was
April?
No!
No, it was in April.
It was 2015.
I'm just making sure.
Guys, I can't kiss until and give out the age, but I just did. Whatever. I was 15. That's quite late in April.
Oh, that's not cheap.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Whatever. It was a very good experience. It was my biggest crush at the time, so I was happy. It was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yours?
No, you didn't have. When I ask you a question, doesn't mean that you have to.
Okay, sorry.
No, you can, but it's just not allowed.
Okay. Not on the Grey Ave podcast.
So what is your role in the movie? Because
my role is the ditzy blonde. That's like.
It's a cleaner outside.
Ditzy blonde, bitchy high school teenager, the rich kid. yeah.
They just gave you the role that you're already playing. We were
No, not at all. But I think that's what I look like, or like that's my typecast.
Okay. What is a typecast?
Typecast is kind of like my brand. So I was explaining to you earlier on, I see myself as like the princess with big dreams that's actually just a soulful goof. So that's kind of what I brand myself as. But as my hit, it would just be the blonde, bitchy teenage girl, or the girl next door, or something along those lines.
So that means, like, if there's more roles, you easily fit into those roles more easily based on.
Yes, in comparison to someone that maybe looks like a hippie with long brown hair.
Okay.
Like, they're not going to fill that role.
Right.
I don't know, guys.
I'm learning things.
Oh, okay.
I'm learning things.
Good.
Okay, so we're jumping into the second part of the podcast. As Rad put it.
Did I answer enough on the kissing booth? Did we answer enough on the kissing booth?
Who was the best kisser?
Byron Langley.
Okay.
Why did I just say that?
Did you have to do things that made you uncomfortable though?
No, not at all. Everything was scripted, so I knew what I was facing. But I remember for the actual kissing scene, the kissing booth, we were in the green room. It was like 3 a.m. and next minute they were just like, Olivia to set. And I went to set and they blindfolded me, and then they just like called action, and they had guys already lined up, and guys just came up and like hooked up with me and then would leave. And only after they yelled cut and I took off my blindfold, I was like, oh my God, Sunda, it was you. Like, it was weird. But
Okay,
thank God it went like that. Otherwise there would be nerves, and I mean, it made it more realistic because that's what you would do in a kissing booth, I suppose.
So that was I suppose your biggest check, hey? Your first.
What do you mean by check? Oh, paycheck, yes. For a 21-year-old, it was good.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
we're still you still have some right now.
Yes, it's all saved.
Good.
I haven't tapped into it yet.
She should invest it.
We should go and invest soon.
Okay. Oh wow! What, and I'm paying.
Well,
This is not okay.
it's a new world. It's
a new world.
Oh God!
It's
I mean, I'm
new
all
world.
for independent women, but the man should still pick up the bill.
It's a new reincarnation, but the principles still don't want to change.
No.
Some fundamentals
never change. So, Rad, you say 2018 was great. You know, I think we can jump on to other stuff. I think, to me, 2018 has been the greatest, I think. It's like most challenging. I did very well with health. I became vegan this year.
Who didn't?
We'll chat about that another time.
Yeah. And numbers don't lie. I did quite well with business as well, which is most important to me. So, you know.
So you can take me on a date.
I'll think about it.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, so let's jump into another thing of, you said our generation is trying to redefine things. I think the part 2 is going to be part 3 because it's more like first,
cool.
5 quick questions. So what 3 words would you sum up 2018 with?
Can she go first? Okay.
Heartache.
Okay.
Okay.
Passion. Adventure.
I would say
Passion.
mindful. What I'm doing.
I think you have to speak a little louder than the mic.
So I'd say mindful, fun, definitely, and rewarding. Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Oh, my mum is phoning.
Now I feel like I'm the only one who had the
Your mom's sorry. He'd be like, Mom, I'm with 2 guys.
I'm on a podcast.
Yeah, so you said passion. Oh, man, you guys have the best way of redefining it. I don't think one word for me would just be explosion.
That's cool.
You know, it was cool. I was a little sick at the beginning of the year, so I thought it was going to be slow. But it picked up, and I don't think it was bad at all. So fuck it. Now we're gonna jump into the cool stuff. Our generation is trying to redefine things that were stable in the last few decades. Definition of work, family, relationships. What would be your ideal way of living? Let's start with Rad and that.
Ooh, yes. Don't put me in the hot seat.
Okay. Ideal way of living. I don't know. I think like.
I think you have to break it down into, let's say, work. What would be your ideal way of working? What would be your ideal way of dealing with family and factoring family in your busy life, for example? And relationship, how do you factor that in? So I have to break it down into those three segments.
So I think the first thing is that like ideally you want some sort of balance between the three at all points in time. But it's
balance.
hard. It's hard.
Balance. Did you
like,
say balance?
Balance, yes. That's the first thing. If you could, like if work could be something more in my control at times in terms of like how many hours I'm spending at it or what I'm doing about it.
Yeah.
I think the reality is quite different. So like you're gonna have days where you're just working like crazy hours, and then everything else takes a backseat. Relationships take a backseat. Family, you don't know what's going on with them, and you're like, okay, well, that's how it is. So if I could, ideally, right, if I could really get a definition on how many hours I'm actually going to spend at work, right, then it allows me this whole space to deal with the other things, because it is unfortunately the way most of our lives are constructed at the moment. So that's the crux for me. It's like being able to figure out how much time I'm going to spend there. And if I could get that right, then I think everything else fits itself around it. The other thing which would be ideal is fixing my day. So like if you can get the day started off right, then everything else then can work. So if you can sleep for the right amount of time, most nights, typically speaking, the day tends to go well afterwards.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it starts at the beginning, unfortunately. So like it's one thing you can say like, oh yeah, you want this big concept of family work, but actually it's just day in, day out. And if you can actually get each day pieced together, then it works.
What I've realized is that work-life balance thing is bullshit. I think you have to just be. I think you have to be specific in terms of like what's your priority. So like to me right now, I think work is everything, and I'm good with that. I mean, I can sacrifice a lot of things to it. I haven't seen anybody who has made this whole work-life balance thing. I think it's a cool idea that never works. I mean, have you seen anyone? Do you do work-life balance?
I mean, I try.
Okay.
But yeah,
you can always try.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no good.
But what
design.
is perfect balance?
There's the thing called work-life balance. It's so popular these days. It's like, it's on everything. Yeah, that's what everybody's talking about in the articles and LinkedIn. Oh, work-life balance. They say, oh, you have to like 50% maybe.
Yeah.
Family and friends and stuff and work. Man, realistically, it doesn't work. At least from what I've seen. So that's what I've seen. And you, what's your ideal way of? So you saying that you're factoring you work on the center of everything, and then everything has kind of fits in that.
Yeah,
family and friend, family relationship has to fit in that.
Yeah, unfortunately for now, this is where it sits now. Yeah, and if I could get more control, yeah, it'd be cool. But
and Bianca,
what was the question?
I don't know, it went over her head.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the question?
What would be your ideal way of? So you have now you work now you're an actress. I don't know how that works, and you got family. You got some boyfriend, some Tinder dates that you gotta attend, and then you got.
I was blocked from Tinder.
Wow.
That's another story.
Me too.
Really?
We can talk about it later.
Okay.
Blocked from Tinder. What
Yeah.
did you
But
do?
I didn't do anything wrong.
No, but let's wait. Let's wait on that.
Okay.
So how do you factor in the relation time for family? Like your mom was calling, but you're doing a
Yes.
podcast. It's like, how do you balance all those things out? How would you define like, okay, this is how I would like to live, at least in an ideal world?
Wow. I have. Oh my god.
It's a big question.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty broad. I had such a good answer when you were talking, and now I'm like, what was it? I think you said prioritizing is bigger than like having a balance, because I get very caught up. I wake up in the morning and I have like 10 things I want to achieve in the day, but I don't start off with the one that's actually most beneficial to myself and the one that's actually most important. So I'll do all the little things around it, kind of because I'm fearful of actually attacking the main objective.
Yeah, I get it.
And that's my biggest downfall, is that not that I act out of fear, but I'm so fearful of failure. So before I've even started something, I find 100 different options to occupy myself with.
Yeah.
And that's where my balance needs to come in. Because if I have that like go into this, do it, like, don't be fearful that it will fail, just do it. I think that will achieve more balance in my life than wasting my time doing things that actually don't serve me. But also, I don't know if I would say meditation is huge to me at the moment, because it allows me to understand what I actually need for myself, instead of getting so caught up on like what everyone else is doing. And because I'm quite competitive, A-type personality, I see anything on Instagram as I wake up in the morning and I'm just like, yep, okay, I need to do this, I need to try to tick these boxes. If I literally just wake up, rather do a meditation and realize, what do I need for myself today, what do I want to do, then all of a sudden things fall into place. It's almost like you achieve this like flow state.
Yeah.
So
that's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you go to bed and you put your phone away like an hour before you go to bed, you don't look at it. And when you wake up, you don't look at your phone until you actually get going for the day. Change the whole day.
Yeah,
but
it really does.
For me, I wake up with Instagram laughs first, so I have to get my phone, scroll down Instagram.
That's because you wake up and you want to take an Instagram where you are. No, playing.
No, but like, I know that without
it, a good laugh.
Without it, I'm gonna fall asleep again. You see, so I'm gonna have to watch those funny videos, and then I'll be like, "Oh, damn, let's wake up." You know?
Yeah,
that works for me.
I prefer, yeah.
I'm not the type to bash out social media, you know. But anyway, so we have talked about that. What's the next thing? Do you want to talk? Let's talk about the Tinder blocking first.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So I want to know, how did both of you? Because I'm not blocked on Tinder.
Yeah.
I experiment with Tinder. You know, I experiment with all these things. So I was trying to put like different types of ages. I would delete my account, put a new one, new photos, different age. It's like just to measure different types of demographics, how they react. And then apparently Tinder don't like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so then they blocked me. So my phone number cannot be there anymore. They have no help center where they can help you.
Yeah.
So I have another phone, which is what I use for it, but it's like my home phone. So
okay.
Yeah, but I don't really like Tinder anyway. I don't know about you guys. It's like, oh, I like it, but I think Bumble is better because it has more quality women. From my perspective, I would say it's like Tinder is so much like chaotic. Right, you know that. Why is
it's more common. It's common.
It's common, yeah. So it's like you have to filter out too many people. It's
yeah.
like 2 minute left.
True.
Swipe.
It's so true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I use Bumble these days. I think it's kind of works.
Yeah,
but I don't get to meet most people there because everyone's busy. We're all busy. But yeah.
Balance.
How did you get blocked?
So I downloaded it after my breakup. Obviously, because I was like, I'm allowed to now. Let's see. Yeah. Well, you don't want to be on Tinder when you like. There's no reason. There's like no point.
Then you have to date me. I'll give you all the
backup
freedom.
plan.
No. If you're in a relationship with a backup plan, you need to get out. So I downloaded it just because I was.
You need more lessons.
Yeah. I was just like, as a joke, like I would sit after dinner and like flick through and be like, haha, check this one. Unemployed. But yeah, and then I think I just deleted it like you did. Would re-download it, delete it. I didn't ever use it. So I think that's why. I initially blamed a few people. I was like, you're just jealous and you tried to report me. No, Bianca, calm down. You're not that fabulous. You literally just like,
maybe your boyfriend, your ex has
that's what I thought.
If you get reported about 5 people, I think you get blocked.
You get blocked.
I think I was reported, but like I wasn't ever on it. So I think it's because I wasn't active enough and that's why they blocked me. And then I was deleting it, re-downloading, like signing in, logging out, signing in. Blah. So yeah, maybe that's why. But
Rad is the king of Tinder. He pays for it, so they can never
block him. Wow!
He's the ultimate premium guy. You know, they can never block you.
Got that Tinder Gold.
Yeah. How does Tinder Gold work?
I don't even know.
No, but don't you get unlimited swipes and stuff like that? It's cool.
You get to super like.
I wanted to do it, but like because I got blocked.
Yeah, but then it sort of like became old. Like you try it for like 1 month or 2 months, and afterwards it's like.
It's the same.
This is not any different.
Right. So the next question: we're all young and the world seems full of short-term gratification. How do we focus on longer term of our career in our careers? I can answer that one first quickly because it's easy. It's how bad you want it, you know.
Yeah.
So I understand like people at our age right now, obviously, it's too much instant gratification, and man, it depends on how big you think. It's like if you think big enough, you can see that all these little things that everybody is worried about these days, likes, they don't mean nothing. There's no ROI, and they just don't. To me, there's no bottom line to it. So it's like, fuck it, I don't care about those things.
Yeah, I was simple.
Or they call it instant gratification, but there is no gratification to it. So you're going to continuously try get it.
Oh yeah.
But you're never going to get it. It's like a vicious cycle.
Yeah. It's like, well, if you put up a picture, you're going to get likes, okay, but then you have to do it again.
To get more likes,
It's addictive, yeah. But also I think that's applying to so many areas in life, like in South Africa especially, where people expect like overnight successes. There's too many inspirational videos and everybody's watching that, and they think that you start a company or something, you're gonna make a killing, so that's ridiculous,
Yeah, it's always a problem because people don't see all the other people who didn't make it.
Yeah.
That's the issue. Like,
yeah.
There's too many of them actually. So all you get to see is all the ones that are like.
So what social media does, for example, it kind of amplifies all the successes, successful people. It's actually a small group of people
it's kind of self-sabotage in a way.
Yeah.
Because it's just what you aren't.
It's really a small group of people that are quoted, or that like maybe Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Beyonce, all these guys.
No, it's true.
Yeah, it's a small group of people that are used as a kind of a
generalization of this is what it's
you
like. That is.
How about the rest?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
they probably don't even have laptops to record themselves.
Exactly.
That's the rest.
Cool. So what's your take on that?
I had a simple answer. So the answer I had for the year was like, just focus on shorter-term discipline. Because that's the best way of getting to long-term.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I like that.
But do you manage to do it?
I did actually for a lot of it. For a lot of things I did.
At the beginning of the year, one of our goals was to learn how to say no.
Yes. That was a big one. And actually, oh my goodness, the amount of times we went out last year.
But we have been good actually, because compared to 2017 and 2016.
2017, it was crazy, right?
Yeah. We can say no to a lot of things.
Just, like said no to a lot of people who like actually, as you were saying earlier, you just like no.
Yeah.
I don't really hang out with you anymore. But then actually putting in more time to spend time with people that you want to be around.
Yes.
Like that's been fun. Hosting at dinners and all of that. So
more intimate stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Than going to a club and getting fucked and like not remembering. Like how is that gratification? Like,
well, if that's what you wanted at that time.
I mean, sometimes you need that, and it's all good. But every Friday, I don't know.
You can play games with that sort of thing because, like, it's like something. What do you call it? Like, it's like sun capital. It's like, when it's gone on that far, you're willing to take the results, even though next day
it's gonna. I know.
Next day you're like, no, this is not what I want.
But how good is it when you don't go out on a Friday and then you get up on a Saturday and like hack lounge head? You're like, I've achieved.
Like this morning,
this week,
waking up and playing tennis was like awesome. It's like very different.
Well done.
Some things. So like some simple things.
Yeah,
that's been fun.
Great. So I mean, sure, I've learned something from that. What you said, it's like focusing on short-term discipline. Discipline is hard, man. But like, fuck it.
I think what you said was the best, is that like when people say, what do you want for your life? It's so easy to say, I want a Ferrari and I want to be famous and I want to be the best actress. But like, no, rather ask yourself, what are you willing to struggle for? Because life is fucking hard and all you're going to do is struggle until you maybe get your Ferrari, and like, it's not even going to be the best prize.
Now you just moved us into the next section.
Oh, okay. Great. I knew. That was my whole point.
I'm mumbling the questions order a little bit, but like, with what you said, and there's a culture right now. You watched the Rupert's interview. He was calling us, the snowflake kind of thing. But like, what would you sacrifice to get what you want? And also, how would you how would you define your goals in a way that they're not crazy? Just I want a Ferrari kind of thing. Those things that like are not well defined. Yeah, like how do you do that?
I suppose you sacrifice as much before at the point at which you start sacrificing something more integral to you than you're losing.
So like
that's a problem.
Morally,
like that's a problem because then you've crossed the line, right? So to her point, the struggle thing. One of the points I've always found at work, the one guy, like, it's an interesting point he made. He says people who do really well at stuff, they do the stuff that everyone else doesn't want to do.
Exactly. But that has been the golden principle.
So true.
Yeah, that is the golden principle.
Like I work in a place where, like, yeah, there's people around you who are successful per se, but when you look from the outside looking in, it doesn't look that all that exciting.
Yeah.
And people are like, so what is this sort of glamour about this thing? And it's like, well, actually, yeah, there is some glamour to it, like 10%, but actually the chunk of it is far more like hard work, gritty, struggling. I think, and to be honest, I think no matter which career path, whether you're an actress, entrepreneur, all of it has that underpin. That like 80-90% where it's just grinding.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Right? And doing stuff that everyone else doesn't really want to do. No, I don't want to be part of that because it takes too much effort. It's like, well, then you're not going to get that other part, the sort of like shorter term things that you see.
It's more like, trying to factor. So here's the thing: people want things, or you would want things, but you want them to factor into the way you live. It's like you don't want to change. You want to play.
It must still be comfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes,
100%.
I like that.
100%. And at the same time, and life is. I mean, speaking of the whole snowflake generation, I think life is hard by design, and it has to. It's not fair, but I think most people expect it to be kind of, if you start talking about things unfair, dude, life is war, man. You're supposed to be in a jungle right now battling lions, running away from them. So I think that's a very good starting point of like understanding, look, life is chaos, it's chaotic as hell. How are you going to navigate to get to what you want is really what success is. It's like, can you play that
the journey
game? Exactly,
not the destination.
And then never forgetting that actually on average, like we're talking here, but we have very cushy lifestyles.
Oh yeah.
So like we're struggling in our own way, but god damn it,
it's not a real struggle.
We don't even understand some of the other things that are.
That's not a good comparison.
I know, but it's a truth.
That's what it is, man.
It is what it is, but
yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
So what have you learned about yourself that you don't like?
It was something that came out of like being in a position at work, and then even like conversation with friends, like this idea of being in control. And actually realizing that like that can actually be a bit of a downfall at times.
Like being a control freak?
Being in control of everything, or trying to be in control of everything. And actually realizing that no, you need to be able to delegate things out. You need to let it go. And I think that's been quite useful. But actually I always like to term it like I enjoy having fun and being spontaneous and out of control. But actually there's another part of me that enjoys being in control, and maybe sometimes that takes over too much. And then I think sometimes I can need to.
Are you turning into a control freak, right?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I didn't really think about it that much until this year.
Yeah.
So that's been
more responsibility now.
More responsibility sort of makes you want to be in control, but it also makes you have to understand, well, what are the things that are important for you to control versus stuff that you need to let go.
And Bianca, what have you learned that you don't like about yourself?
I kind of mentioned it earlier on, but that I'm very fearful of failure. So before even entering into what I want to do, I find other excuses either to back out or I self-sabotage myself. So for example, I really want this role. I get the script. I've got 3 days to learn the lines, but I'll learn the lines before walking into the audition. Just so that if I don't get the audition, I can turn around and say, well, I didn't learn my lines, so that's why I didn't get it. It's just pathetic, actually, but it's all based out of fear. So to not be fearful in 2019 is my goal.
To not be fearful.
Yeah, and it's hard because you think like, oh, fearful is like this. Yeah, I can pinpoint so many things throughout my day where I do things based out of fear. And I'm sure you can too. Like, it's a human thing. We protect ourselves. And that is our way of protecting ourselves.
There's a book about fear. I just forgot the title. It kind of helped me a couple of years ago. But like, I think there is things you can do on a very small scale that will amplify to other. It's almost like how you do something is how you do everything.
Yes.
So it's like things like taking a cold shower every morning.
Okay.
Small things that like are uncomfortable when you get to do those kind of things,
but it breaks the ice for the bigger. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
It's a mindset.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For
sure.
For me, it has been similar to what you said, Rad. It's like I think my biggest downfall would have been or what I didn't like about myself is that I expect anyone to be like myself when it comes to work, right? So I can delegate someone to do something for me,
and you expect them to do it like you do it.
Exactly. Not only that, to just understand things that I understand.
Okay.
You know, it's just like I gave you that without proper description, and I just expect you to figure it out.
Yeah. How do you not know? Yeah.
Exactly, that kind of thing. Well, with my personality, I can figure out those kind of things, but then other people are just different. So principles, Ray Dalio principles, actually the book helped me to understand. It dived too much into personality types, and ways of things, like people are just different. So understanding that made me realize, like, I've been terrible, and that has been an effect in a way that I couldn't get people to work with me for a long time. Not that they would quit. I'm a fun person to work with, but if I hire someone, it's like 2-3 months and then it's over.
Okay.
But now I'm getting to build a team for a longer period of time and manage to sustain it. Whether it's it's a virtual team, decentralized, or it's locally.
What personality type are you?
From Myers-Briggs test, it's INTJ.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can give you a description for that for the listeners as well. What that is, you can take that test as well. It's pretty effective.
Okay.
For the star signs, what do you call it? Those kind of
astrology.
I'm Leo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
And you?
INTJ is
Pisces. Okay, I'm an Aquarian.
INTJ is introversion, intuition, thinking, and judgment. I've kind of gotten over the introversion part. It took a long time, but yeah, that works. And you, what's your? I
haven't done that. I've done something similar called Enneagram, but I wouldn't know what the equivalent is.
Okay, maybe you should try it.
Yeah, definitely try it.
What personality type are you?
I think I'm an A-type personality, so I like to do everything myself and control everything, but it's backfires on me because you can't do everything yourself, and also I like everything to be perfect, so I'm a perfectionist. But what I've kind of learned throughout the years is that, like, my aim to be a perfection or like be perfect is actually a defense mechanism. It's like my armor in a sense. Something that I can always it's something that I can try fall back on if I feel like I'm not good enough inside. So I can rely on like superficial things which the world sees as perfect. So yeah, I mean, that's quite deep and roundabout, but I think it goes back to personality type for sure.
But it's just good to be aware of it, It's it helps. Like, hey, I think
it underpins like what motivates you. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And like what's the stuff that gets you going. So.
Okay.
Or you're able to call yourself out.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point. It's like when you're aware of it, you know where it's coming from.
Exactly.
So you're like, okay, this is just me.
Yes, me. Yeah.
So I have to let it go. Yep. But like, what we've already discussed all these things. What trade-offs are you willing to make? Okay, now 5 quick questions before we close. Like favorite restaurant, drink, dead joint, city, series, actress, crypto, socialist, or capitalist. So many questions.
Yeah.
Let's start with a socialist or capitalist then.
Capitalist.
Oh, everyone here is a capitalist. Cheers to the capitalist.
Cheers.
I know some of the guys listening won't like it, but look, deal with it. We're all different, so it's all good. Don't expect everyone to be like you. And red or white wine?
Well, that's kind of clear right now.
No, but
I find every time that's why I said only a little bit, because my glands get really sore when I drink white wine, and apparently it's because there's too much sulfate in the wine. So no, I always go for red, but then your mouth gets black, and that's unattractive. So no wine, just whiskey.
That's kind of a
whiskey and lime. Sorry, I think it's the wine talking.
It's okay,
Cut that out.
I like the answer that it went all the way deep. You brought out the motivation. No, just not. I just don't like it. But no, it's unattractive when I drink it.
Favorite date joint?
A favorite dead joint?
I like the beach.
Beach? Ooh, okay.
Like, it's more chilled and relaxed, and you actually get to be yourself. It's not like put on. It's not like you're sitting at a table and super formal and like you've dressed up, and like I don't know.
Wow, I think Bianca's so romantic.
It is also more romantic and more natural. Like,
I had a cool one. I did one where so went up to Signal Hill, but bought sushi somewhere else.
That's
you can,
cool.
You can take and you go chill out.
Yeah, it's more like realistic
It's
to
kind of fun. It's
like.
different chill or doing dinners and stuff. But I cook.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like mini golf. It's next to my house.
Okay.
So it's just proximity to your home.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like a bit of an icebreaker. Like you're doing an activity, so it's not like, fuck, what am I going to say next?
I don't like the whole thing of, the deck thing.
Yeah.
Or everyone is kind of trying to pretend.
Yes,
So
exactly.
it's like-
you get to know a person way more.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If they like losing or they don't like competitive.
It's also kind of
Or they're shit sportsmen.
sometimes it's interesting, like if you bring someone along to your group of friends and see how they interact. Because it's always like sometimes.
We always do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting because like sometimes you need to do that earlier on than you think.
And it's also super. Yeah, that is true.
It's like, what's the point? You like going out with someone and then like they
Can't socialize with your friends. Yeah.
I know, right?
If you can't fit into my lifestyle, don't be
Get
here. Yeah. Get out.
Get up!
Get out.
Get up!
Run.
Car or Uber?
car.
Unless you're drinking.
Uber.
Oh yeah, that's right.
How many hours sleep do you get?
Minimum 8. I can sleep like a baby for a very long time. I love it. Why? But like I can easily sleep until like 11 the next morning, like the dead.
I wish I got 7. I think I'm averaging about 6.
Are you a morning person?
No, I just get up.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not a
I'm
morning
averaging
person.
about 5.
What?
Like 3 to 8 or 9, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I sleep at 3 in the morning, I wake up at 8 or 9.
And then
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's about 5 to 6 hours, but mostly 5.
That's such a little bit.
Man, the hustle is real.
Balance.
Yeah. Drink, dead joint already discussed. City, series.
City, that's cool.
City, Cape Town. I think I have to give it Cape Town.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's a pretty beautiful city.
It is awesome.
Ran, are you gonna say?
Different one. I really enjoy Prague.
Oh,
Prague is freaking awesome.
Okay. And Bianca?
I was gonna say Manhattan, but that's so like, ooh. Of course, like you say city, everyone thinks New York.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't
City
know.
of Lights, huh?
Yeah.
Nice. Advice to other actresses. What would you give? I mean, I've jumped all the order of questions, but like what advice would you give to like younger actors, actresses, actors, whatever?
Don't give up. Because it's super tricky. Like this industry is fickle, and it's not like I was explaining to you earlier on. It's not just based on your skill set. It's also about your look and like what box you fit and what they're wanting at the time, and just right time, right place. So it's kind of don't ever stop working, because success is like when the opportunity and your preparation meet, instead of But also, just honor the craft. If you love it and you're doing it for yourself, you will attract what you're meant to attract. And I even fall short at that. Like I'd sometimes do it and I realize I'm doing it because I want attention or like fame, or I'm interested in more bigger things, or not bigger things, but things that don't really bring instant gratification.
Dang, man.
Deep.
That's so deep.
Sorry.
Clearly prepared.
No, that's just how I feel.
Yeah, seems like she's genuine, eh?
Yeah,
like
it is. That is how I feel.
Believe you, Bianca?
Please do, or don't. I can give a fuck.
I like that. And what book are you currently reading?
What book am I reading?
Have you finished all the books you bought in 2016?
No.
Alright.
I've been bad at that. Although I did read quite a few of them this year. But currently I was reading this physics book. But that's about it. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
I'm reading The Black Swan.
Oh, you're reading the Nicholas Dilemma.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
And Bianca? It's okay to say none. You don't have to sit.
No, I bought a book, but I haven't started reading it, and I bought it 2 weeks ago. It's called Seat of the Soul.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah. And I found it by watching Oprah. So I think it is Seeds of the Soul. I could be completely wrong. No. She was interviewing the guy that wrote it, and I was like, oh my god, this is so incredible. I have to read his book.
Your favorite book? Obviously 50 Shades of Grey.
No, that is no, definitely not. And I haven't even read that.
Don't be shy, man.
I promise you, I'm honest. Favorite book? I mean, Tuesdays with Mari.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a short, easy read, but it impacts you the most. Or it has.
Is that the book that had the most impact in your life? Let's talk about that actually. What are the things that you can look back to that had the most impact in your life?
Geez, that's a good question.
I just like that book because it made you be so grateful for where you were. And we're constantly trying to like better ourselves. And if we're just grateful for what we have right now, it's so much more, I don't know, enjoyable.
I think there's a saying that goes, I think it's Grant Cardone that says it. It's called thankful but not grateful. I wrote that.
Thankful but not grateful.
Yeah. So what are the things that... Yeah,
most grateful.
Maybe you should put that on your wall.
Okay.
I have this thing in my house which people find ridiculous,
Yeah.
but it's true. Follow the man and not your passion.
Follow the man and not your passion.
Follow the money.
Oh, the money. No, that was no.
It's uncomfortable, right? But it's...
It is.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, I think if you follow your passion, the money will follow.
Yeah, it's
Right.
Eh?
This is a very important topic.
that's a difficult question, but like
It's a difficult question, but I think the world is so oversold on the passion thing, and people overlook things that really matter to them. It's like, look, there are things that are constant, like you're gonna have to pay rent, you're gonna have to pay medical bills.
No, for sure.
There's a level of pragmatism. Yes.
Yeah, so it's like sometimes people overlook everything. It's just like, yo, it's either the passion works or nothing else, that kind of thing. But hey, what are the things that have been very impactful to you that you can look back on? Whether it's music, a song, a book that were like life changing.
Okay, I'll pick three things. So these are like I call them maybe key events. You could call them, right? So like one, and I look back. I would say something like when I was playing piano. I played piano, right, for a long time. And there was a point when I was like 15 or 16, and I realized why I had done it for 10 years now. That was the first time I actually understood what the hell it all meant. Like to actually do something for so long, it becomes like sort of like an extension of you now.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. It's very weird to explain it, but it's like
I like
now
that.
it just becomes like a
Part
thing.
of you.
Yeah, I can't separate it. It's like it's always gonna be part of me. I'm always want to, but I see it, I want to play it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like shy away from it.
Yeah.
The other one would be the whole living overseas in Bermuda, and then coming back, because that changed everything. But I think that's a perspective thing, and it's also more about like you have a view of yourself without a doubt, but like there's certain things that are like bubbling there. They're sitting inside, and they need to be unleashed in some ways. And I think sometimes you just need to be in a different space for it to come out.
Right.
And then you don't want to go back because you felt so good with doing it. So you're like, why would I do it differently? So those two things.
It's like once you snort your first piece of cocaine.
Yeah, it's sort of like that too. So I would maybe those two are big.
That's why people get addicted.
Yeah, those are two big ones for me. And then family, but that's a more overarching thing. Yeah.
Right. And Bianca,
Wait, ask the question again. Sorry.
What's impactful?
What were the most things that you can look back, like some key moments, whether you listen to a song or...
Wait, from 2018?
No.
Oh, in life in general.
Yeah. Or it's a movie or whatever.
Okay, got it. So I was in Canada in August now, recently doing an acting course, and I remember the feeling, and it was weird because like I can imagine everything around me. It was like, you know, when you're in a moment and like you said, like you're at the piano and everything like goes in slow motion for a second, and you kind of like, oh wow, whoa, that was real. You're not just like going through your daily existing life. So I was on the bus, and then I got off the bus, and I was crossing over, and I was about to get on the wrong bus and whatnot, but it was to meet my agent to try get him to sign me, the agent that I'm with now. And I'm by myself. I'm like, there's a 9-hour time difference. I'm on the other end of the world. I haven't spoken to my parents in a while, and I'm like all dressed up in my high heels. I look ridiculous, and I'm about to step on a bus to go to an agency and kind of promote myself and sell myself so that they can sign me. And it was like, oh my God, I'm literally chasing my dreams right now. And that was a fucking cool feeling. Like, I was literally getting on a bus and chasing my dream, and it was, I don't know, that was cool for 2018. Like, that was amazing.
It's like that black and white picture that sticks in your brain.
Yes. And when it happened, I like sat back for a second. I was like, remember this feeling, because if stuff does happen in your career, you can always look back at this and be like, I was at that point. Remember when I was doing self-tapes in my apartment and now I'm here? Or I don't know, I like that. So enjoy the journey, because it is about the journey, you know?
It is about the journey.
Yeah.
100%.
It's flipping cool.
Yeah. I think we can end it right here. Anything you guys want to discuss?
No, I'm good.
We're good, yeah?
Yeah, we're good. I think it's been a good one to end it off.
Yeah, let's just double up on the wine. All the fantastic things in 2019. I don't really drink, but I think wine is not bad. So if I tell people that I don't drink, and then I drink wine, they get confused.
Okay, like hypocrite.
It's like I don't consider wine as drinking.
It's vegan, isn't it?
It is.
God.
Like cooking.
I know one of the questions on there was something about like trends that should fade out and trends that should stay for 2018 going into 2019.
Yeah, you have an answer?
Don't you think that 2018 was like the year of badass woman coming to power?
Okay.
Like every woman was like super like I don't really like feminism, but like everyone was just very independent, and like women rose up to the plate in theater, in movies, like they just started speaking out. That I think is a trend that should stay for sure.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
Except for some of the Me Too stuff, I think it was.
Oh, okay, yeah, that got a bit overboard.
Yeah, but I agree with what you said. It's like women, stepped up, and there's this whole independent woman movement.
Yes,
I love that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even though it has become to a lot, it became a little bit of fashion, whereas everyone like to talk about it, but nobody's exactly doing it.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good mindset, to continue. So that's that I like. The Me Too thing, it went out of the box too much, from my perspective. So I think let's write it down right now.
Write it down? What?
The podcast. It's over.
It's over.
Okay, done. Thanks for coming.
Cool.
Bye.
More FIFA in 2019.
Oh God.
The Q1 goals, gotta be.
I've got an interesting story. So my friend that was on the acting course with me, she is the girl face, Lisa Solberg. Mm-hmm. She is the face of FIFA.
Huh? FIFA?
FIFA
the game?
Yes.
What?
Is that what you're talking about?
Let me see what you're talking about.
What FIFA?
She has to go to Instagram to figure it out. Let's go.
Yeah.
FIFA.
This is her, like.
You must give me a number if this
That's her.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Like you can play her on FIFA.
Oh my gosh, why is she there? Does she play soccer?
She's just an actress, and she had a good like rapport, I think, with the director, and he chose her, and
Okay.
But it's pretty cool, like the process that you go through to become like the character. Yeah. Where is the picture? It's crazy. Like the way they tape your whole body here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's called facial capture.
Yes. Capture. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. So
but anyway, that was a weird side note.
Cool. Sweet. We did it.
Yay! Thank you.
Hello once again, and that was the end of our conversation. And just before you go, just wanna communicate a few things with you quickly. If you have enjoyed any of the podcasts or this specific podcast episode, I would appreciate it if you share it with your friends and family through your social media, Twitter, Facebook, etc., as well as write me a 5-star review on iTunes or Apple Podcast app. That would be fantastic. It helps me flourish and sustain this podcast as well. We also on other platforms like SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, and all other major podcast platforms. So whichever way you're listening to it, I would appreciate it if you leave me a review. You can also subscribe to the Grey Podcast through my website, greyjabesi.com, greyjabesi.com. There you also find some of the blogs that I'm writing sometimes, and you get notified as soon as the new episode has been published. Until next time, enjoy and be productive. Thank you.